Thanks for tuning in to leftcoastnews.net, news and information from the wacky, sometimes communist, liberal West Coast of the United States. For more, visit leftcoastnews.net. So, just a couple today on what's going on in Olympia and some of the interesting Senate bills. Senate Bill 5860 would remove spring blade knives from the definition of a dangerous weapon and maintain safe storage requirements and prohibitions on carrying and knowingly possessing spring blade knives in specified locations. Under Washington state law, a spring blade knife is one that automatically releases a blade by a spring or mechanical mechanism or by force of gravity. Spring blade knives are defined as a dangerous weapon, and it is a gross misdemeanor to manufacture, sell, dispose, or possess the knives. Currently, there is an express exemption provided for the possession or use of these knives under specified circumstances by public safety officers and military members. Federal law does not generally prohibit possession of switchblade knives, except within Indian country or within certain maritime and territorial jurisdictions of the United States. Rather, it provides that whoever knowingly introduces or manufactures for introduction into interstate commerce or transports or distributes in interstate commerce any switchblade knife shall be fined not more than $2,000 or imprisoned for not more than 5 years, or both. So the bill would remove the definition of a spring blade knife as a dangerous weapon. However, it expressly provides that a spring blade knife is not a dangerous weapon. But the statutory exemption for possessing or using a spring blade knife as a public safety officer or member of the military, which permits certain contracts, trials, and testing of spring blade knives, is repealed. So even they can't carry them, and nobody can have them to even test them, which is currently allowed as well. Why? Why are we doing this? Why are we concerned about cops or military members carrying a spring blade knife, something that is much faster to use than a regular straight blade sheath knife or a folding knife that most cops carry? This state is always going after law enforcement. It seems like that's what they spend all their time doing. This is just another useless bill being passed by our politicians. Senate Bill 6265. This one is ridiculous. Requires certain large grocery establishments to post a sign at the checkout register in a location conspicuous to consumers stating that any coupons or reduced sales prices posted in the store or offered through electronic mediums are available and will be honored upon request, even if the consumer has not signed up for the electronic medium. The background on this is any person who offers a consumer rebate must allow a minimum of 14 days from the date the consumer purchases the product or becomes eligible for the rebate upon satisfying the terms and conditions of the offer for the submission of a request for redemption by the customer. After receipt of a request for redemption meeting the terms and conditions of the rebate offer, the person offering the rebate must transmit the rebate funds to the consumer within 90 days. A violation of the laws related to rebates is considered an unfair and deceptive act in trade or commerce and an unfair method of competition for the purpose of applying the Consumer Protection Act, the CPA. A person injured by a violation of the CPA may bring a civil action for injunctive relief, recovery, or actual damages and reasonable attorney's fees. Under certain circumstances, a court may increase awarded damages up to 3 times the actual damages sustained. The Attorney General may investigate and prosecute claims under the CPA on behalf of the state or individuals in the state. A grocery establishment must post a sign at the checkout register in a location conspicuous to consumers stating that any coupons or reduced sales prices posted in the store or offered through electronic mediums are available and will be honored upon request, even if the consumer is not signed up for the electronic medium. Grocery establishment means a retail store in Washington with over 15,000 square feet in size and that sells primarily household foodstuffs for off-site, yada, 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 you get it. Violations of the requirements to credit any coupons or charge the reduced sales prices are considered violations of the CPA. I mean, first of all, the fact that they're spending time on writing bills about coupons at the grocery store just floors me. With everything going on right now, this is what our politicians in Olympia are worried about. Our Democrats in Olympia are worried about. Grocery store coupons. They've got to write a law about grocery store coupons because some people aren't smart enough to use their phone to get the electronic sales information that everybody uses now. Everybody uses a phone. And here's what they say, why. Some of large grocers are requiring people to go online to access coupons. Yeah. This impacts seniors and others that cannot go online. Food is a necessity. Well, you can still buy food without a coupon, bud. Some grocers allow you to use a loyalty card. Having to go online to get the coupon is discriminatory. Discriminatory. Are you kidding me? Everything with these people is discriminatory. They feel like they need to write a law about every single possible thing. Do you really want your life to be legislated in every single way? Do you really want the government telling businesses how to do everything? How to market their programs to people? Do you really need the government to handle all these situations for you because you're just completely incapable and you need daddy to take care of this? I mean, this is overreach. It's ridiculous that they're even spending time on it. There's many other serious problems we have besides grocery store coupons. This is just another example of them playing the victim card or making victims out of people or trying to make people feel like they're victimized in some way. Senate Bill 6261. This would create an alternate method of committing possession of stolen property in the first degree and creates an alternative method of committing theft in the first degree. The alternative method of committing possession of stolen property in the first degree is added by which a person is guilty of the crime and if the person possesses stolen property that was property or equipment used by firefighters or emergency medical service providers in the course of duties and taken from a fire station or emergency medical services building, facility, structure, or vehicle. An alternative method of committing theft in the first degree is added by which a person is guilty of the crime if the person commits theft of property or equipment used by firefighters or emergency medical service providers in the course of duties and taken from a fire station or emergency medical services building, facility, structure, or vehicle. Classifies the new alternative methods of committing possession of stolen property in the first degree and theft in the first degree as seriousness level 2 offenses, aligning them with all other theft in the first degree and possession of stolen property in the first degree crimes. It removes the 6-month mandatory minimum related to convictions for theft in the first degree and possession of stolen property in the first degree concerning property of first responders. I'm not sure why we're removing the 6-month mandatory minimum for first degree offenses, especially if you're stealing from fire departments or emergency medical crews or vehicles or buildings. There should definitely be a mandatory minimum. The pro argument for this bill As first responders serving rural areas are often remotely located, and when the equipment they use is stolen, these first responders cannot provide essential emergency services to their communities. The bill is targeted to increase penalties for those individuals who wish to victimize first responders. These incidents have been going on across the state for years. It's not easy for first responders to replace this type of equipment, and most rural fire departments cannot afford to replace it. True. I was a volunteer firefighter for many years, and money was always an issue with these departments. And you've got all these tweakers and homeless out there stealing, then they need to be dealt with. Now, here's what really gets me. This is the con argument against this bill. It was written by David Treweiler with the Washington Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers and the Washington Defender Association. This bill is unnecessary and inappropriate. Crime rates fluctuate year to year, and there's no evidence increasing the penalty of a crime has any deterrent effect. Really? Well, how do you know that? Because you don't know if a crime was deterred. There's no way to track that. There's no statistics. We're not asking people if you would have committed a crime had there been, no law. If you knew you were gonna go to jail, did that stop you? Where do we have those statistics? This is a hypothetical. This is a made-up story. This is make-believe. Most evidence shows increasing penalties does not deter crime. Okay, I don't know where you're getting your evidence from, but I think we can clearly see in Washington, where there is no increasing penalties or jail time, it's not working. It's not working at all. If new laws only increase sentence lengths for crimes, we end up with one of the highest incarceration rates in the world, which Washington has. Again, I'm going to read that one more time. If new laws only increase sentence lengths for crimes, we end up with one of the highest incarceration rates in the world, which Washington has. This guy is so full of shit. If you look at the statistics for incarceration by state in the United States, which is easy to find, Washington is in the middle of the entire United States. We're nowhere near the top 5. But we have the highest incarceration rates in the world. See, these people just like to spew out bullshit that they have no idea what they're just saying what they want to say. And here it is, right here in this bill. The legislature should be increasing judicial discretion, not decreasing it like this bill does. This further adds unnecessary complications to the sentencing grid. Spoken like a true asshole. These people would like nothing better than to have these criminals on the street terrorizing you, stealing your stuff, violating you, hurting you. I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? All these people that get arrested, that don't get charged, and don't go to jail, and get let out over and over, and all these other bills that I've talked about where they want to give people chance after chance and get rid of, harsh sentences that they should be getting. But it is their goal to keep these people on the street. And even when it comes down to stealing from public safety organizations, they don't want to prosecute them either. Just let them out. Just talk to them about it, right? We'll figure it out. We'll work it out. And so when grandma or grandpa has a heart attack and the fire department shows up and doesn't realize that their gear has been stolen and they can't save grandma because their AED was taken, then what? Is this dipshit attorney, is he going to be held liable? No. Are the Democrat politicians who made all these dumbass decisions to let these people on the streets, are they going to be held responsible? No. Nope, nobody is accountable. And these Democrats and these defense attorney turds don't care about victims or citizens or the community. in their mind's eye, the victims are the criminals somehow.